Well, Eric is frustrated, definitely, because he's working on the planter, wiring some stuff up. How can I tell he's frustrated? Well, I have to go to town. I asked him what I should take. He said take anything you want. So, you're going to take the Bronco and fire it up real fast and peel out of the yards, because I have a feeling this is not what he meant when he said take anything. But we're going to find out. Just tear out of here and hope he doesn't even notice. Don't give him a chance to run after me.
It's May 29th, and I know I am not the only farmer in my neighborhood that woke up this morning, was in a good mood, and then looked outside and seen it rained a half inch, and now is in a bad mood. I've been in a bad mood most of the morning because yesterday was awesome. Yesterday we caught such an awesome groove. Adam was working fields up ahead of me. I was planting. Ben was out picking rocks. We just finally caught a cool groove, and we got a lot done yesterday. Between the three of us, we were getting seed, everything. I mean, everything was clicking along good. At 12:30, when I quit planting, there was a 30% chance of rain at like 5:36 a.m. And then I woke up at 6, seen it absolutely downpour. And I've been in a bad mood ever since. But I've been in a bad mood before, and I'll get over it. It's just, man, we're trying so hard. If I would have known it was going to rain like that, I would have planted later. Last night was Saturday night. Friday night, I planted at 3 o'clock in the morning, slept in my pickup. It rained around 5:36, so then I slept in the pickup to about 9. Then I woke up, and we kind of got after it. And actually, by about noon yesterday, we were able to hit it, and we got a lot done. We're down to about 40 acres of beans, which is almost like nothing. I mean, I need one more good day, and that was my goal of the day, was if I could have one more good day, we could just be done with beans, only focus on corn, and, well, that didn't happen. So that's the way it goes. So today, if you notice, this planter's still in the shop. It shouldn't be, but it is. Number of things did not go as planned at all. But we've actually been banging out a bunch of stuff with the little 8-row Kinsey, and so I can't say anything bad about that. I mean, the field conditions, other than like a 6 to 8 hour window, like the end of yesterday and then Tuesday last week, were really nice and fit. A lot of the conditions we've been facing, this was too big and the ground was too wet for it to really work. But we're gonna stay positive and keep working at it. So today, it rained out, so I'm in the shop cleaning up the mess that is the shop. But it's like this every year, and you can just see what happens is everything, we're so busy going back and forth. Hurry up, fix it, drag it in the shop, leave it. That's kind of just the thought process we got, just because we're moving so fast. So rain day today, first step, clean everything off the planter. And then I'm gonna start working on building the electrical, the wiring harness for it. Basically the only thing I gotta do is build the harness to power the air compressor, and then also build the harness for the automatic row shutoffs. Now last week we got rained out, I think it was Wednesday, and actually me and Adam ran the main harness down the frame, and so that's nice. Now we just got to go from basically like the hitch right here up into the cab, and none of this is in depth, it just takes time, but that's what I'm gonna be working on today. So like I said, it's gonna get better, we're gonna get this done, but it has just been this roller coaster, absolute roller coaster of up and down and good and bad. And been here before. I mean, guys, yesterday me and about 4 different friends were all texting back and forth. It's kind of funny when a neighbor sees you out going, and I'll get the text like, hey, is it too wet? Yeah, it is too wet, but we're going anyways. And so a couple different guys, we were going, oh, this is the worst spring ever. And I was like, no, 13 was worse, 14 was worse, 19 was worse, 19 was way worse, 13 was way worse. So we're not batting down like the worst ever. We're just batting down inconvenience after inconvenience. And you gotta roll with the punches in this game. It's just the way it is. You know, where we live in, it's either us or down around the Rochester region for the wettest area in the state of Minnesota as far as rainfall or precipitation. And so we live in just kind of a gauntlet of climate. But so on one hand, I'm kind of used to it. You just kind of roll with it. You can tell by my voice, I'm still not 100% healthy. Feeling real good. Feeling way better than earlier in the week, just still not 100%. But for today, we're going to work on a planner. Hopefully we get it done. It rained today, so obviously Adam was all screwing around with the Dodge already. And every time I just look at that truck, oh my God, I smile because that thing's just so much fun. You have a bad day, you hop in that, and that thing will put a smile on your face, that's for sure. I just chuckle how many people have rolled in the yard, seen it, and they're like, what are you doing with that? That's cheaper than alcohol. Seriously. Even with $5 diesel fuel, that's cheaper than a night at the bar, that's for sure. Well, it's kind of a little bit of an inside joke there too, but that thing's just so much fun. One more thing, you know, yesterday we caught this awesome groove. I actually had the elevator out, bringing out fertilizer, so later in the week we can get going on corn, we can go again. And talking, the main agronomist came out, and we were chatting a little bit, and he's like, you guys planting? And I'm like, yeah, soybeans. And he's like, what's the deal? You know, why are you holding off on corn? I'm like, well, last three fields we got of corn are actually some of our lower ground. Kind of worked out bad this year, but you know, we got about 150 acres, and you know, they all kind of have big hills, which are fine, but then roll down into some lower wetlands. And I rattle off the fields, and he knew them, and he's like, oh wow. And he's like, that's all you got left? And I'm like, yeah. I said, we're actually doing really, really good. And so I said, you know, we're real close to wrapping up beans. And he's like, I can't believe you guys are all planting today. I'm like, well, I can't believe we're all planting today either, but it's, you know, next week's June, so we ain't got a whole lot of, you know, at this point in the year, we just kind of throw the rule book out the window. If it'll go, it'll go. And so it's just kind of fun because he was a little surprised, but he's also like, he agreed with me. He's like, yeah, you're right. He's like, you're kind of batting down that time frame where we're kind of at that point in the calendar year where every day we keep going farther into summer, we're going to start losing yield drastically. So that's the thing with today, why it kind of sucked was, man, if we could have just wrapped up beans today, but hopefully tomorrow, half inch of rain ain't that much, but you know, it'll get better. Alrighty, so now the goal is to make that wiring all that. Johnny is so happy. So as I get interrupted by the guys showing up in Rado to bring me iced coffee, how can you be mad at that? The goal is to take this spaghetti of wires and make that into a harness. So that's our job for the afternoon. Here we go. What's your take? Yeah, that's impressive, ain't it?
Looks like you're having fun.
Yeah, well, you know, 16 row shutoffs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Funny, that's like the same color as the green one. Oh, the stuff you can't make up. So Adam was changing the oil in Rado, and what happened?
I went to put the plug back in, and of course wasn't tightening down. So I take it back out, and there are no threads. Like someone basically rounded the threads on.
Yeah, it looks like they put the oil plug in with an impact.
Yeah.
Tat tat. Oh yeah, look at that. No threads left. Well, another trip to town. Leaving a vehicle with no oil in it, that would make me super nervous. So, yeah, I told Adam, run to town, track something down, because, yeah, that makes me a little nervous. But this is the first time Rahdo's let us down. And even this is minute.
Yeah.
I guess we have pulled it home twice. Well, whatever. First time this year. Yeah, first time this year.
Me.
This is kind of prior mechanic's fault. Nah, this is this life stuff, but heck yeah. You so win. I did not tell you what you couldn't drive.
Yep.
I don't care. We got parts, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta set the parking brake up. But...
Oh,
Needs extra.
supper's ready.
Yeah, I know. Okay, Adam wins. I did not tell him what he could and cannot drive. I don't really care. I think it's cool. I got parts. Did they have the plug?
Yeah.
Perfect. Nice. Heck yeah. I just smile every time I see that truck. Roll around chair is not rolling, so okay. That'll work. All right, so we are working on what we've been working on. We're building a wiring harness. So this planter's 16 rows wide, and what happens is when you go into a triangle, you want to be able to shut rows off. So simple math, 16 rows. I got 2 of these switch bodies, 4 rows apiece. We're gonna make it so each one of these switches shut off 2 rows. Okay, that is taking a little bit of reverse engineering because the way Trimble uses it, they run power to all the switches, and then the ground actually, instead of the positive, the ground actually is what breaks the connectivity. Or actually, when you flip the switch, it's gonna connect the ground, completing the circuit, and then as my phone rings. Alrighty. Hey man, what'd you find out? Can you see the light?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, don't go towards the light. I kind of like hanging out with you. Kind of cool though, ain't it?
Yeah.
So what me and Trevor are doing, Trevor's my cameraman right now, we are testing our wiring harness, but 2, if you see all these little tape loops that I'm making are just these, I'm labeling the wires. So exciting, we have our harness built. Now we got to tell the harness what to do. And so when the planter's unfolded, row number 1's gonna be out here. So switch number 1's gonna shut off rows 1 and 2, switch number 2 is gonna shut off 3 and 4, etc. So what I'm doing right now is 1, I'm testing the harness, because if it's strong enough and will carry current to power up that big halogen light back there, it'll run our little 12 volt valves. So that's step number 1. That also tells me the splice that we did earlier today is doing good. But now I'm also, while I'm doing this, labeling the wires so I know which rows go where. So the cool thing is we're getting there. I'm actually pretty much done with all the hard thinking, which I know isn't too hard. It's 12 volt in, 12 volt out, but it's still making sure it does what you need it to do in the order you want it to do. I don't want to flip a switch thinking 1 and 2 are going off and then find out it was like 5 or 6 over here, because I'll have neighbors make fun of me for how I planted. Yes, because old guys are awesome. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. They will give me flack for doing a crappy job planting. That's a given. But that's what I hope to do in the future generations too. Like yell at young kids like, oh, back in my day, I did a better job than you. Okay, some of that's meant to be funny. Lighten up, it's a little bit of humor. But anyways, no, it's going good. Got all this built. The next step tomorrow is gonna be backing the tractor in and then wiring our switch boxes in the tractor. I actually want to take it out of the shop, unfold it, make sure where I route all the harnesses, nothing gets pinched. But actually, I'm gonna be shutting up the shop here in a little bit because I got to do some trucking. But actually, ending the night very, very happy. And when I say all the hard thinking's done, in a lot of ways it is. I kind of know how everything's gonna lay out, get ran, etc. So the only thing I didn't get to today is getting the air compressor here wired up. But yeah, that'll be tomorrow's project. So we're gonna be shutting the shop up here in 10-15 minutes. But if you see the light, don't go near it. No, I'm kidding. It is pretty cool though, ain't it? I can just light that up, and all I got a battery down here on the floor, and then I'm just powering everything up with the power probe, but nothing too high tech, but works pretty good. So with that, heck yeah, I'll just keep on wiring away.
Expensive, cheap, expensive.
Yeah. Borderline afford, kind of afford, can't afford. If I wouldn't have bought it back in 2000.
Yeah. If anyone has.